Welcome to episode 3 of Props to Consider and Then Maybe Bet. I'm your host, Lou Betya, and welcome to this nonsense. I have to pay off a bet that I lost to Paul Shaughnessy. I lost a shoey with Paul Craig doing squatta. So let's take care of business, and then let's see how my props go after that. God, what's wrong with me? Oh, shitballs. Well, this is immediately a disaster. And we're doing a Boilermaker because reasons. Such a stupid idea. But here we go. Oh, woo. I can't say that was my favorite thing I've ever done on the air. I can say it's my least favorite thing I've ever done on the air. So, clean up the desk in a little bit. Welcome to the show. Let's attack some props on this and see what we get. Let me bring in the big screen here. All right. Thank you very much, Jeff K. Anybody tuning in, thank you guys so much for spending a little Thursday afternoon with the resident idiot of the MMA engine. But let's attack the prop market, and I'm glad Wheezy's here because the first prop involves something that him and I always talk about. We're starting with Betya and Negramanu. I'm going to yambags here. When Wheezy and I talk about this, you're always looking for orthodox versus southpaw. Opens up the stance. Ball shots become a little more prevalent. We actually have 4 fights in this card, if I'm right, that are lefty versus righty. We have Betya and Negramanu, Morales and Fugit. Dober against Alves, and Ankalaev and Smith. Now, out of the 4 of them, only Ankalaev Smith has a worse in the distance prop. So Negramanu is just coming off getting fouled last fight. Betya is very raw. Let's play some yambags, 21-point deduction. You can find that on DraftKings or Betway. Either one has those. I don't know if any other books have it, but you can find that. I always like that one. But then I got 7 props moving on. The last 7 fights of the night. We are going to start with Drew Dober and Raphael Alves. I really thought about playing the round 1 sub here for Alves. It's 10-1 on some books. It's a little juicy for me, and I like it. The problem is that I feel like his only path here is locking in a guillotine, and Dober is super tough. He's tough to knock down. He's not going to be like the Akesi where he just dives into it. So I think Dober's chin is tough. I think Dober can survive the early onslaught, and I think he gets him out of there in round 2. The round 2 KO is plus 600. I am playing that prop all day. The only thing that'll ruin it for me is if Dober knocks him out in the first. There's some similarities here with the McKinney fight for me, but I know Alves isn't on short notice like he is. But give me Drew Dober, round 2 KO. Moving on, Alex Morono and Matthew Semmelsberger. When the week started out, I was leaning Morono. He's a dog. He fights for your money. But the more I delved in the tape, this is a bad matchup for him. I think Semmelsberger, you can look at his run and all right, he beat Carlton Minus. That's okay. He beat Martin Sano in 10 seconds. He beat Witt in 10 seconds. You don't really learn much in those. I'm actually really impressed with the AJ Fletcher win, looking back at it. I know Fletcher came in on short notice. I was on Fletcher in that one, but Semmelsberger weathered the storm early. He got his wrestling going, which was interesting. For me, I thought Morono might have a path on the ground here, but I think Semmelsberger can negate him, and he hits like a brick, man. I'm going to play Semmelsberger round 1 KO here. He's going to get Morono out of there. I do like Semmelsberger's durability. Even if he gets cracked early, I think he can hang in there. I don't know if I trust Morono's. I love the way Morono fights, but I think this is a horrible matchup for him. Semmelsberger round 1 KO, plus 600 odds. I like that one too. There's a lot of plus 600 odds that I liked on this card, which is kind of odd. But we're going to move on. Anthony Smith and Magomed Ankalaev. I'm going to tell you right now, do not tail this one. I love Anthony Smith. I'm an Anthony Smith truther. I love the way the guy fights. I'm not huge on Ankalaev. I think this line is kind of crazy wide anyway. But Smith fights for your money. He's a pressure fighter. Ankalaev, I don't think loves being pressured here. He's been hurt before. I've seen some people on the Smith submission prop. That's interesting to me. But you know what's a little more interesting to me is Anthony Smith getting it done in round 3 at plus 2,900 odds. I think Smith can make this a dogfight. I think he's tough. Everybody's assuming Ankalaev can go to the takedowns because Kruk got him down with one leg, but Ankalaev hasn't shown that that's his MO. I mean, I think this can stay standing for a while. I think Smith's going to be the more active fighter. I think he's the one doing more damage. I don't think he's the more technical boxer, but who do you trust more in the third round of that fight to have urgency? And to me, it's Anthony Smith. Give me the veteran to get it done. And I'd love to see it if he made a title fight, but we'll see. But we're going to move on. Alex Perez and Alexander Pantosia. I'm not going to lie about this one. I have some reservations because to me, Perez hasn't fought in 2 years. All these fights keep getting canceled. Schnell should not have taken that fight. That was very smart by him here. But I'm going to be baited into something that I think is a trap because I think the number is too good. I'm going to play Pantosia's submission. Depends on the book you get it at. I mean, I saw one book was plus 300, which is terrible. But actually, this has come down a lot since I wrote these out yesterday. I don't know if I like this as much, but I really do think that's how this fight ends. It's not that, and Perez has been submitted, but he got submitted on short notice by the champ. So I don't want to take too much stock in that. Wheezy made some really interesting points that, like, statistically, all the metrics point to Perez. But, the body of work, the durability points to Pantosia. I do think his submission game's awesome. I think the sub prop here is great. What's weird to me is that his KO prop is what it is. I just don't see that being the path to victory for him. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I imagine on the ground is definitely the clearer path to victory for him. So I think it hits the ground. I think Pantosia can sub him early too while they're dry, but I like his durability over the course of 3 rounds to get this done. So give me Pantosia, get the submission there, and let's move on to the next fight. I do not have one on Derek Lewis and Pavlovich. Although I jokingly said before that Lewis' decision would make perfect sense because we've had a fight every card that's juiced to the tits for the fight doesn't go. And then we're left wondering how we ended up with a decision. I mean, you could make a case that Lewis and Pavlovich could be 2 guys kind of like standing around afraid of their power and giving each other too much respect. But Lewis in Texas, I know his record's not good, but he's exterminated 3 Russians already. So I kind of think he could exterminate a 4th. But I'm kind of laying off this fight for props. I'm laying off it completely betting-wise. I'm just going to root for Derek Lewis and hope that's what happens. But let's move on to – did I miss anything here? I did not. The main and the co-main, Brandon Moreno against Kai Kara France. This is another one where early in the week I'm like, if France was a certain price, I'd be interested. But the more I look at it, the more, and Moreno, I like this move to glory. I like it a lot. I think this is good because Moreno really shouldn't be standing for 25 minutes in this fight. I think, and Kai Kara France, look, against Askarov, he looked great. I think his takedown defense is better than people give him credit for, but I like Moreno's cardio. He's another dog that fights for your money, and I do think he'll get the grappling going here. I think the Moreno submission prop is worth a look. Moreno sub, my book has it at plus 440. I still think it's okay. I don't see him winning by a knockout here. It's not that he can't. I just think, again, if I'm capping it to where I think the fight should play out, the ground is the best way. And Brady kind of inspired me the last time we were on Lambeau. He did this island round robin or island parlay where he had somebody in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the card. I like Moreno round 4. He gets to the championship rounds. This is where he has experience. This is no knock on Kai Kara France either because I'm really impressed with his run, but he can be subbed. I think Moreno could get him into deep waters. I think he can get him out of there in the 4th round. The round 4 sub is plus 3,300. It's worth a stab late in the night. I am going to put that as a track bet for like 0.1 units, but that's my fun one of the day. And let's move on to the main event since that's the last fight left. Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes. I got to say that, you know, I understand that I see Meatball saying Moreno versus Split, and I always like looking for those bets. I just, to me, I don't know if Kai Kara France, I don't know how he's going to look in the fourth and the fifth. I think he'll look good early. I think if he banks the first 2 rounds, that Split's crazy live, but I can't count on him here against Moreno. But I love it's, you're probably getting like crazy good odds with that one. I'm actually curious what it is. If you have it up, please let me know. But, Moreno by Split, plus 800 is kind of, I don't know. I would probably want a little more for that, but I definitely see a path to that, like completely. But let's get to the main event, Nunes and Pena. You know, I agonized over this one a little bit, and if I did one more shoey, I'm not doing one more shoey touch. Maybe tomorrow for the happy hour. Since somebody was kind enough to bring me 2 beers and 2 bottles of Fireball. I know everybody's on Nunes here. I get it. I understand it. I see people like Narco and Lucrative on Pena, and that gives me some very, very strange pause here. I'm going to live bet this fight. I feel like last time Pena was out, the live betting odds were all over the board. I mean, Clint saying he got like plus 1,100 live after 1. I mean, Nunes dominated in the first round, so her a big number made sense. I think Nunes, if she's going to win, it's going to be in round 1 or early round 2. So to me, I'd rather not play Nunes pre-fight, see how the first round goes. I imagine that Nunes, I'm on the overs here. I think Nunes is going to come out with a little more trepidation just to pace the tank a little better. But it doesn't mean she's not one shot away from ending a fight. I mean, but the hesitation I have is, you know, any guys that are NFL fans, you know, you could have running backs that are like dominant, and then like they have like 2 bad games and they just dive off the cliff. Like it's so fast when you go. And that's what I'm worried here is Nunes has talked about retirement. Whenever you hear fighters talking about retirement, like Gustafson, like, I mean, it's you just don't know what the motivation is coming in. I'd like to think that Nunes is a total professional that really wants her title back. She could hold the 145 title until 2040 if she wants, because I don't know who's going to challenge her. But I'd like to see how they look in the first round. My lean pre-fight is Nunes. The body of work for me, I can't go against the Lady Goat. But I don't know. I'm not going to bet her at this price. And I think if you're going to bet her, you got to bet her now because she's going to be a parlay stuffer, I believe, for a lot of people this weekend. So I'm going to wait this one out. But I'm interested in Pena live at plus 500 or better. I do think that she's going to have a game plan. If this thing goes to the 4th or 5th round, I trust her cardio better at this point. If I miss the bet, I miss the bet. But I'm just going to wait on this one, and I'm looking for plus 500 or better to get to Pena. So to sum up what I got, yambags in the Betya and Negramanu fight. But if you do want to have fun with that, by the way, and you can bet if you want to do a 50-cent yambag round robin, if you truly want to play yambag Yahtzee, take all 4 fights that are Southpaw versus Orthodox, Ankalaev Smith, Dober Alves, Morales Fugat, Betya, and Negramanu. If you hit 2 of them, I don't know what 50 cents pays there, but if my math is right, $9 million for a 50-cent bet. So kind of like that. But I'm going yambags there. Anthony Smith, round 3. Juliana Pena live. And if you want to play her sub prop at plus 650, I think that's a very good path to victory for her. Moreno sub and his round 4 sub. Pantosia sub. Semmelsberger round 1 KO. Dober round 2 KO. The cheapest one I gave out was the Moreno sub and now the Pantosia sub. But that's what your Uncle Lou's playing this weekend. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the MMA Engine. I'll be back tonight at midnight doing Liam's show, I think, with the Council of Greatness that they let me on. And tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, with Monk to do the happy hour, to give you guys all your last-minute DFS, your betting, and your general nonsense that we're very capable of on that show. Guys, thanks for spending your time with me. Have a wonderful day. And Paul Shaughnessy, I don't like you as much as I did 20 minutes ago, but you still all right. Take care, guys.